Hi, Dylan Hallahan here with Emmanuel Insurance. I'm the director of long-term care, disability, and life insurances within our firm. And today, the topic I'm going to be speaking about is the unknowns of long-term care. Long-term care planning is an area that we feel is missed all too often. We feel that the discussion is had either too late or not at all. And it's an area we feel we can help our clients, our friends, and family be properly planned for and properly educated around this topic. So today I'm going to be speaking about what long-term care is, what are some of the different strategies and options out there today, and provide a case study for everyone to review and for us to work through together. So without further ado, jumping right into what is long-term care. Uh, many people, when I say long-term care, they think of the nursing home, right? The facility care. And that isn't wrong. Obviously, that's included, but we don't want people to think about long-term care as a singular place or facility. When I say long-term care, I want someone to think of an event in someone's life, because long-term care can include not only facility supports, but also in-home care, whatever is going to help that person meet their personal care needs over an extended period of time. So to qualify for long-term care insurance benefits, we really it revolves around these six activities of daily living. So someone who can no longer perform on their own, two out of these six activities of daily living, or they have a significant cognitive impairment, that triggers a long-term care benefit to be paid in most policies, most scenarios here. So that's really important to take note of. It's a question we get a lot. Again, it revolves around these two of six or a cognitive impairment, and that's written off by a licensed physician. So we know what long-term care is. A question we get a lot of the time, and what follows is, well, how much does it cost? How much does long-term care cost in my state on average? And on average, on a monthly basis, in the two main states that we work in, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, you can see last year the average costs were 6,000 in New Jersey for home care, 4,000 for home health care in Pennsylvania. And then you see as well the big difference in nursing home care, right? So if you're having a private room nursing home care, on average, you're paying around 11,000, 12,000 per month. So these are really important numbers to be aware of at very least when we're talking about our planning. And also we got to factor in the cost of inflation in the future, right? So how is this being paid for? Right. So how is it being paid for? That's the next question. Is it coming from certain assets? Who is liquidating those assets and when? Is it efficient to do so in that manner and in that time? Those are all unknowns, right? For the most part. So what we want to do is we want to tie in knowns. We want to tie in guarantees. So when we're talking about the different strategies and options that we have today, these are the main players that we deal with. Number one is the leader in the space, hands down, life long-term care hybrid policy. This one is the leader in the space because it not only provides guarantees, but it provides guaranteed death benefit, guaranteed surrender value, and a guaranteed long-term care benefit pool. Then it can also be joint or individual. So you can jointly own a policy with a spouse or significant other, or you can own one individually. The fixed annuity long-term care hybrid policies, this is probably the second best option, I'd say. It's a great alternative solution for clients who may not qualify through the standard medical underwriting of what a life long-term care hybrid policy would entail. And maybe they have a lump sum, they have some assets hidden away somewhere that we can allocate towards this on a single premium basis. A standalone long-term care policy, they're still out there, but they're very few and far between. We jokingly call it the dinosaur of the industry. They are use it or lose it products, meaning if you do not need it for long-term care, you never use it. Well, those premiums were essentially just for peace of mind. Though they have increasing premiums nationwide and industry-wide. We see clients come to us all too often with those letters of those old standalone policies being increased the premiums by 200, 300% over the next few years. So there are very few carriers offering the product anymore. They've almost become obsolete. And then the last option is the long-term care rider, or you may say it as a chronic illness rider on a life insurance policy. These really are much more strongly built towards life insurance. and the long-term cares are almost an add-on benefit. So again, really great cost-effective way to add long-term care planning into your life insurance strategy. But if something is if long-term care is the main area that is missed and the main area that we need to focus on, we're probably more focusing towards the top two options. So now that we have a brief summary as to what the different options are, let's jump into a case design. So this is looking at a married female. We did work with the husband as well, but just for simplicity's sake, showing you the married female, age 55, non-tobacco in the state of Pennsylvania. So these are looking at options using the life long-term care hybrid. So these are the leader in the space policies that we're looking at, or option strategies that we're looking at. If we're just focusing right now on the left-hand side, just for simplicity's sake again, but you can see that this is a comparison worksheet. This is something we do for every one of our clients, right? If it makes sense to look at different strategies and different products out there, we want to lay it out so that someone can go right across and look at all the pros and cons of each option. But if we're just focused on the left-hand side here at Nationwide Care Matters, which is a top dog in the industry right now, we look at a single premium of 100,000. So this can be broken down into a few different ways too, and how you pay for the policy. You don't have to do single premium. You could do a 10 pay, a 20 pay, meaning you pay over 10 or 20 years. You could pay to age 65, or there's a full pay. You pay for the life of the contract. Single premium is usually the most bang for the buck, so to say. But there are different options for someone who maybe does not have that ability to do a single lump sum of that amount. So for this client, we did 100,000. For that 100,000, day one, guaranteed, you pay that first 100,000, you have $6,000, 6,500, let's call it, of monthly benefit to be paid to you day one. So now you've just 3 times your money. If you look at that next highlighted point, you took your $100,000 initial investment or allocation and you turned it to day one, $326,000 of a long-term care benefit pool. And that would be accessed if you did in fact need long-term care. Again, those 2 of 6 are a cognitive impairment. That 6,500 monthly benefit paid over a 4-year minimum duration. We do also have a 3% compound in there, so we're going to see inflation being added on to this policy every year, that 3% compound. So now if we look at age 80, this is a married female age 55 today, we look at age 80, 25 years later, your now 100,000 initial investment went from 3 times, a little over 3 times, to now over 6 times. So now you have a $682,000 tax-free guaranteed long-term care benefit pool to rely on safely if you were to need long-term care. That's safeguarding $682,000 of your retirement assets, savings, investment properties need to be liquidated, whatever it might be. That's a large chunk. Again, it's tax-free as well. So now we don't have to worry about the stock market being down or tax capital gains, any of that to worry about. We have a dollar amount to rely on. So interest rate of return, we're looking at 7.3% tax-free. That's pretty great. If we're looking at comparing that to like a stock market and investment account, you've got to equate for taxes on that. So you would probably need 2-3% more on that to match. And then you see here, again, they're not built for life insurance, but you're guaranteed $155,000 death benefit at age 80. You've got a cash surrender value, which isn't why we have the policy, but it's almost like a little bit of return of premium if you did want to cash out and run. And then a residual benefit, that's if you're to access every last dollar of your long-term care benefit pool. There's still a little bit of final expense policy left. So these are really, you can see, powerful options on a very tax advantage basis for clients in most scenarios. So now, what can we do for you? Do these strategies make sense for you? They may or may not. It all starts with a discussion. Most people don't even have that discussion until it's too late. So what do we offer? We just look at leveraging today's assets to safeguard the future ones. That's the whole goal here. Not only that, but we want to create a tax-advantaged plan around that. So we don't want to have to rely on you paying lower taxes in the future, because quite honestly, it's probably not going to happen. So, and we want an efficient wealth transfer strategy using these policies and these strategies that we come up with. And then we want to protect the overall quality of life. So this is the real reason we plan for long-term care, and we have some sort of planning around it. It's we want to protect the quality of life for not only you needing care, the one who may need care, but also your loved ones, your friends, family, during the years where care is in fact needed. And you can see by the statistics in the lower right-hand corner, um, again, to my point first made, it is a area of planning we feel is missed all too often. It's not talked about enough. And you can see most people are just simply not prepared for it. So at least having that education around it, having a discussion, initial discussion, and seeing what your options are for the planning for you, your loved ones, is a great first step. With that, I would be happy to help. Obviously, we're always here for you in Emmanuel Insurance. Here's all of my contact information. If you have questions, concerns for yourself and family members, or if you'd like to see your own comparisons, your own options as to what's out there, some initial designs, I would be happy to help there in those areas. Please feel welcome to contact me any of these ways. We're always here for you at Emmanuel Insurance. Thanks so much. Thanks for listening. Hope to talk to you soon. Bye.